Okay, folks, good morning. Antonio here again. Today we're going to continue to talk about my text-based strategy video game that I'm writing in the C programming language. Hi, but before that, I just wanted to say that I'm very, very happy. I've finally completed my C programming for beginners course at Udemy, how do you pronounce that? I don't know. Um, yeah, it was a great course. I'm gonna put the certificate right here in the description of this video. So yeah, I'm very happy. And okay, so that's it basically. So today we're gonna be talking about the aftermath battle function. Okay. Now, if you're a fan of strategy games like me, so for example, Total War games, Total War Warhammer 3, Total War Warhammer 2, Attila Total War, anyways. So if you're a fan of those games, you know that if you win a battle or if you lose a battle, in either case, things happen, after that, right? So for example, I've never played the Total War Warhammer 2 myself actually, but I do remember seeing things like, depending on the faction, you can do things with the enemy soldiers that you capture, right? But as far as I know, there isn't, I believe, a way to, negotiate with the AI about, what's going to happen after, this battle is over. I think there is sort of like a hard-coded um, amount of money that you can get from the AI, in order to, for example, ransom their soldiers or yeah, in order to ransom the soldiers, and then you have other options like, for example, kill them all and things like that, which are gonna change your commander's stats, right? So yeah, so basically, what I wanted to do in my program was to actually address that. So in my program, I'm trying to make the player, negotiate with the AI, give them more options about, what to do, after the battle is over. Okay, so yeah, like the previous video, we're gonna take a look at the code first, and then I'm gonna run the program so that you guys can take a look. Okay. Okay, so today I'm using my Ubuntu operating system. I actually prefer Ubuntu, rather than Linux, but I think that's a personal preference. Okay, so I'm using Ubuntu here. You guys can see that, and I have Visual Studio Code open, and yeah, here we have our aftermath battle function. Okay, it returns void. Okay, and it takes several parameters. Okay, now. If you guys take a look at my previous video, the battle function, not the battle function, okay? You guys gonna notice that I'm also using pointers as parameters here. Okay, so we got several pointers here, and if you lose soldiers, or your enemy loses soldiers and lose commander's points and things like that, they're all gonna be changed. They're all gonna be directly changed. Okay, so because we're using pointers, so we're acting, directly in memory. Okay, so all of the um, all of the variables that are inside, for example, the struct army variables are gonna be changed, right? You started the battle with 2,000 soldiers, and you lost 500, so now you have 1,500 soldiers. Okay. Okay. So in the aftermath battle, okay. So what happens? The enemy has lost numbers, obviously. Okay. So that has been changed here. in the aftermath, in the battle function, okay? And the idea is that 2/3, okay, so 2/3 of the enemy's army have been able to flee the battle, okay? However, 1/3, which is enemy soldiers left, this variable here, you were able to capture, okay? So the player was able to capture, okay? And so the numbers of the enemy, right, minus equals the enemy soldiers left, okay? That's it. And we have some other variables here. We're going to talk to them about them in a minute, okay? Okay, so if you've won the battle, so P aftermath battle struct param, okay? Battle 1 equals 1, okay? Because we take a look here at our base struct. We have battle over struct, okay? P aftermath battle struct param. It is a variable of type struct battle over struct, okay? And you have two variables here, okay? Battle over and battle 1, okay? So 1 and 0, basically. They're kind of booleans. So if you've won the battle has been won, the enemy was defeated, okay. Now, if the enemy has money, in their baggage train, because historically speaking, the soldiers, they would, the armies, they would have, baggage trains that would carry food and money and things like that, so they can buy food on the way. So if they're, in other words, if they have, money in their baggage train, okay, so we're gonna print something here. We're gonna print a message, and they're gonna display, to the player, okay, the amount of money that they had, okay, and this value. So let's say that the enemy had 500 gold coins, okay, is gonna be added to temporary gold in possession variable, which is this one here, okay. All right. Now, so the amount of gold possession is this, but if it is, for some reason, if it becomes, less than 0, so you can't have like minus 10 gold coins, right? So I'm gonna set it to 0. So it seems that besides, the enemies being weak and things like that, so, they don't have any money. All right. Now press any number to continue. Okay. Now, if the enemy soldiers left are greater than 0, okay, so have a choice, and the amount of extra strength that you can gain, okay, is gonna be the enemy soldiers left divided by 2.0, okay, because it's a float, okay. Then we're gonna display, how many soldiers left the field, and how many soldiers are left. Okay, so we have a loop here, a while true. So what are you going to do with them? So now I want to give the player some choices. Choice number 1, you can recruit them. So if you press 1, you're gonna recruit the soldiers. 2, you're gonna ransom them, and 0, you're gonna kill them all. Okay, these 3 choices, they have their pros and cons, okay? So it's up to the player to decide, which choice is the best, okay? So if choice is 1, okay, so the enemy soldiers left, okay, it's gonna be equal to a function called recruit defeated soldiers. We're gonna take a look at them in a moment, and it takes as parameters, the player struct and the amount of extra strength, okay, the enemy soldiers left. Okay, so let's see what happens here, right? If we recruit the soldiers. So let's go up here. So if you recruit the defeated soldiers, okay, so these are the parameters, okay. We're gonna display the initial player's numbers and their initial strength. So what's gonna happen is, you recruited the soldiers, so obviously those soldiers, okay, the enemy soldiers left are going to be added to your numbers. Okay? And, but your strength, okay, the strength of your army is going to be less, minus equals the amount of extra strength, the parameter that we saw. So that we saw in the aftermath battle function. So in other words, you're gaining numbers, but you're losing strength. You see? And then we're setting the enemy soldiers left, to 0. Okay, and we're gonna return the enemy soldiers left. Okay. Now let's go back to the aftermath function. Okay, so we're back in our aftermath battle function. Okay, so let's assume that you have decided to recruit the soldiers. Okay, so we have a while loop here. Okay, so you've recruited the soldiers. You're gonna break out of this loop. Okay, so where does the while true loop end? It ends right here. Okay, and it's inside of an if-else statement, right? So if the enemy soldiers left are greater than 0, okay, and else, okay, but it's not going to execute, right? Because, of course, the enemy soldiers are greater than 0, and you've recruited them, okay? So, yeah, okay, so we're going to talk about the ransom money in a moment when we talk about the negotiation functions, okay? All right. So, let's assume that you have gained money, okay, from their baggage train, right? Okay. So, you need to decide what to do with the extra money that you've taken. Actually, let's talk a little bit about this, okay? So, in the negotiation function, okay, in the negotiation function, all right. Let's say that the enemy had 1,000 pieces of gold in their possession, in their baggage train, okay? And you've also negotiated to ransom the enemy's soldiers, okay? So the enemy agreed to give you 200 gold coins for the soldiers, okay? And they had plus 1,000 gold coins from the baggage train. Now you have, okay, 1,200 gold coins. Okay, now you're going to decide what to do with those gold coins. All right. So, okay, and another interesting thing is that you have your army has its baggage train, but your territory, in this case your capital, also holds money. Okay, so now you're going to decide what to do with all of this extra money. So press 1 to add all of it to your baggage train. Okay. Remember, an army without money can't buy food. Okay, so this is gonna come into play when I write the main campaign function. Okay. Press 2 to add all of it to your capital's coffers, or press 3 to add part of it to your capital's coffers and part of it to your baggage train. Okay? All right. And the reason why I put this in a while true loop here is because we can have an invalid answer, right? So the player can press, for example, 0 or 4, but he or she can only play 1, 2, or 3, right? Can only press 1, 2, or 3. Okay? So if, right, they print a valid answer, so they press an invalid answer, okay, so 0 or 9, for example, then they're gonna print this message here, please type in a valid answer, and it's gonna go to the next iteration of the while true loop. Okay, if they press 1, then they're gonna obviously add all of it to the baggage train. And number 2, they are gonna add all of it to the coffers. And number 3, which is the most interesting one. Now I have another while true loop here, because again, the player can insert an invalid answer here as well. Okay, let's say that they have 1,200 gold coins in their possession. Oh, I want to add say 1,300 gold coins to my coffers. You can't do that, obviously. So if the money to the baggage train is greater than the temporary gold in possession, or if this money to the baggage train is less than zero, so minus 100 gold coins, which makes no sense. So the amount of money you've entered is, so and it's gonna go to the next iteration of this while true loop. Okay. Else, your baggage train had percent D, so many coins before. Now, so much money has been added to your baggage train. Okay. And so your baggage train plus equals money to the baggage train. Okay. And the temporary go to possession now minus equals, so let's say that you have added 500 gold coins to your baggage train. Now you have 700 gold coins left. Okay. All right. Now the money you took from the enemy amounts to so much, and you're gonna break out of this while true loop here, which ends right here. Okay. And if the temporary go to possession, so let's say 500 500 gold coins is what you added to your baggage train. Now you have 700 gold coins. Okay. So if it's zero, so your coffers, before your coffers had percent D gold coins, but my lord, the money you took from the enemy now amounts to so many gold coins, and so there's nothing left to be added to your coffers. So the coffers are gonna remain the same. Okay, the same value. Okay, so break. But if you still have, those 700, gold coins, which is temporary gold possession, so the difference is gonna be added to your capital's coffers. Okay, so the gold in the coffers now amounts to so much. Okay, and then you're gonna break. Break from where? Break from this while true loop here. Okay. All right. So that's it. And finally, my lord, now it is time to return to our capital and rejoice for this glorious victory. Okay. And yeah, I'm gonna address this issue later. And as you guys can see, I haven't written yet the the other side of the aftermath battle function, right? Which is if the player loses, okay, now it's the AI that is going to negotiate with you, okay, that is going to make a choice. They're either going to recruit you, the soldiers that they've captured from you, they're gonna kill them all, or they're gonna try to ransom them to you, okay? And for the moment, you only have this a printf statement here. Okay. Okay, now let's assume that you've made another choice. Okay, so you've captured the enemy's baggage train. You've added it to your temporary golden possession, which you're gonna add either to your baggage train or to your capital's coffers in a moment. Okay, but let's say that you've decided to kill the defeated soldiers. Okay. All right. So let's go to the kill defeated soldiers function. Okay. Okay, so this is the kill defeated soldiers function. It takes two parameters. The struct army, your army, okay, and the amount of extra strength. Remember amount of extra strength that we've defined in our aftermath battle function. Okay, they're gonna be as a parameter here. Okay. So you have thus decided to butcher them all. They can't be trusted to join your army after all. Okay. You have a message here. So this displays your strength before, okay, if you decide to kill the enemy soldiers, okay, so obviously no new soldiers are going to be added to your army, okay, but you're going to gain strength. How much strength? Amount extra strength per round, okay, which we've defined again in our aftermath battle function, okay, so it's going to be added to your strength, to your army strength. So like I said, it's up to the player to decide, what they want to do. Do I want to gain strength? Do I want to gain more soldiers? Do I want to gain even more money from negotiating those, from trying to ransom these soldiers to the enemy, right? And then you've gained some strength, and that's it. Okay. Right, so you've killed the defeated soldiers. You're gonna break out of this wild true loop here, and then the rest you guys know. You're gonna add the gold coins to your the temporary gold coins to your coffers, and either to your coffers or to your baggage train. Okay, but you still have another option, which in my opinion is the most interesting one, which is to ransom the soldiers. Okay, all right. So if your choice is 2, okay, choice equals 2. Okay, so I realized that I made a small mistake here. I had declared total enemy after battle, this variable here, as a float, and I changed it to an int, okay? Yeah, but right here I am converting into a float just to be just to become a little easier to deal with divisions and things like that. Okay, so all right, so you've chosen to ransom the soldiers. Okay, ransom the soldiers. All right, so if the total enemies after battle, so that's counting the soldiers who ran away and the soldiers that you've captured, okay, if the total amount of enemies is greater than or equal to the numbers that the enemy had before the battle, okay, divided by 2, so the enemy started the battle with 2,000 soldiers, okay, if they now, counting the soldiers that ran away and the soldiers that are in your possession as prisoners, is 1,000 or more than 1,000, okay, then we're gonna go to negotiation 1. And this printf statement, I'm gonna get rid of this later on, but anyways, so the ransom money that you're gonna ask is gonna depend on negotiation 1. Okay, because we have 3 negotiation functions here for 3 different cases. Okay, so this is all going to depend on how desperate the enemy is for money or for soldiers, right? So another case that we have here is if the how can I explain it? The total number of enemies, okay, is less than half the numbers that they started the battle with, okay? And if the total enemies, after the battle, the counting the ones that you captured and the ones that ran away, is greater than or equal to a third of their initial numbers, okay? So a third. So a third of their initial numbers, okay? So greater than or equal to a third of their initial numbers, all right? Then we're going to go to negotiation 2, okay? And the ransom money that you can get is going to be dependent on the negotiation 2, all right? Else, okay, so the enemy is going to really be desperate, okay? So we're going to go to negotiation 3, okay? And in any case, regardless of the outcome of the negotiation, you're gonna break out of this while loop here and go to the rest of the program. So today I'm not gonna show you the negotiation functions because my videos have been pretty long as they are, and I don't wanna make a really long video. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how the program works, but I'm not going to execute the negotiation functions sorry, the negotiation options, at the moment. But of course, you guys can do it. The repository is gonna be the GitHub repository is gonna be here in the description. You guys are free to do it and tweak it if you want to. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so I've got my Code Blocks IDE here. Okay, I like to build it for my C projects. Okay, so we're gonna okay, so I have hard coded, some stuff here. As you guys know, we're still not putting, the battle, the creates players army, and all of those other functions that we saw in previous videos. We're not putting them together at the moment. So let's just uh build this. And now we got a warning here regarding the getS function. Anyways, okay, but I've already mentioned about getS, right? Anyway, so we've built this, and now we're gonna run. Okay, all right. So just displaying some information here. Okay, so the battle has been won. The enemy, is utterly defeated. The amount of gold in your possession is 1,000. Okay, the temporary gold in possession. Okay, because the enemy had 1,000 gold coins in their enemy camp. So let's set the number to continue. Okay, so after the battle, 1,000 enemy soldiers fled the field, and in their camp there were 500 enemy soldiers left. Okay. The enemy's army is 1,500 soldiers. So let's say that they started their battle with 2,700 soldiers. Okay, now they have 1,500. Okay, so 500 are left, and 1,000 fled the field and went back to the enemy army. Okay, press 1 to recruit them, 2 to ransom them, and 0 to butcher them. Okay, so 1. Let's recruit them. All right. So the temporary golden possession before was 1,000. Now it's still 1,000. Didn't change because you didn't ask for more money because you didn't choose to ransom them, right? So the amount of extra strength is 250, right? Your initial strength was 3,400 minus 250. Now you've lost strength, right? As I discussed in the code. Now let's continue. My lord, now you need to decide what to do with the extra money you've taken from the enemy, both in their camp and, as ransom money, okay? So your baggage train has this amount of gold coffers. The money in your capital's coffers is 2,000, and the money you've taken from the enemy is 1,000, okay? So 1, all of it to your baggage train, 2, to your capital's coffers, and 3, part to your capital's coffers and part to your baggage train. So let's add all of it to the baggage train. Okay. Now your baggage train has 2,400 gold coins. Okay. Okay, so I have added a print statement here. So we can display the amount of gold coins that our capital has. And another one here, so we can compare and see if those gold coins have indeed been added to our coffers. Okay, so let's build this and run. Press any number to continue. Okay. All right, now let's butcher them. Okay. So, the strength of your army before was 3,400, right? And you've gained strength. You've gained 250 points of strength. All right. So yeah, so like I said, you didn't gain any soldiers, but you gained strength. So, like I said, it's up to the player to decide, what's more important for them in that particular moment. Press the number to continue. All right, now let's add this money here to our capital coffers. Let's see if it changes, right? So let's add all of it to our capital coffers. Number 2. Okay. Now our glorious capitals coffers have 3,000 gold coins. So yeah, indeed this value has changed. Right? Okay. Now let's try to add part of it to our capital coffers and part of it to our baggage train. Let's build and run. Press any number to continue. Okay. 1 to recruit them, 2 to ransom them. Oh, let's put an invalid answer, right? So let's say 3. Please type in a valid answer. Let's say -1. Please type in a valid answer. Let's say 9. Valid answer. Okay. Now let's recruit them again. Okay, we've lost strength as was expected. Any number to continue. All right. Now I need to decide what to do with the money. Okay, let's put in an invalid answer again. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Let's try -1. Please type in a valid answer. Let's try 0. Type in a valid answer. Let's try 4. Valid answer, right? It's not gonna leave the while true loop here while we don't have a valid answer. Okay, so 3. Part to the capital coffers and part to the baggage train. All right. Okay. So the money you took from the enemy amounts to 1,000 gold coins. How much money do you want to add to the baggage train? Let's say that I want to add -1 to the baggage train. The amount of money you've entered is either more than you have in possession or less than 0. Let's try 1,001. Same thing. 3,000. Same thing. All right, so I want to add, let's say, 300 to my baggage train. Okay. Oops, yeah, now it looks like we have a valid answer. So I've added 300. Your baggage train had 1,400 gold coins before. 300 gold coins have been added. Your baggage train now has 1,700 gold coins. And now the money, now 1,000 minus 300 is 700, obviously. So your coffers before had 2,000 gold coins. Now they have 2,700 because 2,000 plus 700 is 2,700, okay? And indeed, the amount of gold in your capital coffers is, are 2,700, okay? And you started with 2,000. All right. Okay, folks, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it has been helpful in some way. Like I said, I'm very much enjoying, writing this this little program. At the moment, I am studying other stuff, but I believe that next week, or maybe this week, we're on Thursday now. I'm gonna go back to writing more stuff from this little program, but I want to make videos about other stuff, so I think next video I may be talking about the negotiation functions, like I've mentioned, and but I have tons more of other ideas for new videos. Okay, so thanks a lot. Cheers.